Need to know, okay? Auntie, how long are you planning to date me? Are you planning to turn our relationship to PhD? Or what's going on here? Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chisom, if you don't know that already, and I'm super excited to be on your screen right now. If you're listening on podcasts, I love that you're tuned in even though you can't see my face. It means a lot to me. If you like to see what I look like or what my setup looks like today, you can run onto YouTube to continue this episode. But thank you so much for tuning in. It really does mean a lot to me. So on to today's episode. It's kind of a sequel to something I had already talked about last week, depending on when you see this video. I answered the question, how do I know I am ready for a relationship, or what do I need to do to be ready for a relationship? And I shared some questions. I talked about a number of things, including my personal experiences. And if you haven't watched that, please watch it after this video, but please watch it. So the sequel to that is, what questions should I ask a partner before I start dating? And I know there are a mix of people that listen to this podcast. So some of you are actively dating right now. Some of you are looking to date. Some of you are looking to get married. So some of you are single. Some of you are married. It's a beautiful mix, but I think this would either help you or someone close to you, so don't discard this video. Questions to ask your partner or prospective partner. I think number one, especially for prospective partners, is how single are you, like real life? I know this is sounding like a funny question, but I found that these days you need to actually ask, how single are you? Because it's possible that you are one of the talking stages. You need to be clear. Are you single? Do people know you are single? Or is somebody dating you and we don't know? Because crazy things happen these days. So you need to be doubly sure. How single are you? And another subtle part of that question, and why I added it in this video, is there are some times where people have broken up or they are on a break from a relationship, and it's not a clean break. So maybe it's a break where they have moved on, but the person they were dating has not moved on or still thinks there is a chance with them. You need to be sure that there is a clear level of exclusivity in this relationship you're about to walk in, because the last thing you want is drama or a love triangle. It's only cute in Korean movies. And I don't even find it cute, but it's not a situation I think you want to be in. It's not a healthy situation at all. You spend the energy you're supposed to use to make the relationship work on resolving drama that should not exist in the first place. So make it doubly clear. How single is this person? How long ago was your last relationship? Not that person broke up last week and you guys are looking to date this week. That's screaming red flag. So please avoid that. Another question you need to ask that I find that many people don't ask. There's a show that my husband and I watch, Love is Blind. And we just realized that there are, in all the seasons we've watched, we've never really had anybody ask the question, what genotype are you? So in Love is Blind, they basically meet in pods. So they don't see each other while they date. And I think it's an interesting experiment. Will I do it? No. But they don't see each other while they date. So they date like different people, and then they pick the person that they have the strongest connection with. How they leave the pods is by proposing to that person. And when they propose to the person, they have like 4 weeks before they get married. And it's at the altar they will now finally decide, are you going to marry this person? Is love really blind? It's an interesting concept, but for me, it's mostly interesting on TV. Let's leave it there. So, but I just find that we've never heard them ask, what's your genotype? Maybe it's not a prevalent struggle in that part of the world. I don't know. I don't want to think so. Maybe they've already sorted it out backstage. I don't know. But it's a very important question to ask. I'll give an instance. I am AS. That's my genotype. So my mother had been ringing it into my ear. Chisomo, don't bring AS to the house. So don't bring, like, she had been ringing into my ear since early secondary school. So I knew from the get-go that if I was going to date somebody, I had to date someone that was AA. And there are a couple of people that I almost dated. They were AS, and we had to call it quits before I even started. Great people. I mean, I'm thankful that everybody led me to my husband right now, but then it was painful to walk away from something that may have been beautiful. But you have to consider your future, especially if you want to have kids. If you are AS and you marry somebody that is AS, you have a very huge tendency to have a child that is SS. And it's largely unfair to the child because that child will have to live with health issues for a very long time, like most likely the rest of their life. And it's something you can avoid. So if you can avoid it, please avoid it, because there's something I heard someone say online. I can't remember what person's name is right now, but I had someone put it this way, that for what you consider love that you can't let go right now, you stand the chance of ruining that love. Is it somebody that said, or is it me? Anyway, for what you think it's so big, such a beautiful love you can't let go of now, you stand the chance of ruining that love in years to come, when you're battling health issues with your child, when that health issue is draining all your family resources and there is little left but tension and fear and all of that. So are there people that make it work even though they are AS? I've heard of stories, but it's 1 in every 1,000 or so. Like, they are very rare stories. And some people that want to go into relationships like that don't give the extra work. Like, I've had a conversation with someone who was AS, and she was willing to give the extra work to make her relationship work. So they're willing to make compromises about having kids, like compromises about medical procedures, to just ensure that this doesn't become a big issue for them. But I'm just saying that it's something you need to discuss early enough. Because if you don't find out when you're dating and you now find out 3 years later, it's going to be so messy and very unfair to you both. So it's a conversation to have early on. Another conversation to have with your partner is, what boundaries would exist in our relationship? It's something that needs to be clearly spelled out. Don't just assume that because your partner is a Christian or says they're a Christian, they are on the same page with you. I've heard stories, and like even stories close home, of Christians that were willing to cross lines that shouldn't be crossed, especially in a dating relationship. So you need to be sure that you're on the same page with your partner or your prospective partner about boundaries in relationships. So this is a no sex relationship. Are you agreeing? And if this person says, oh, I agree because you agree, that's a very bad place to be. Because what happens the day that they are tired of agreeing with you? What happens the day where your resolve is weak and you can't say no? It's just not a safe place to be. You guys have to be on the same page on whatever boundaries you're setting. Apart from sexual boundaries, there are other boundaries. So, like how you talk to me, how I talk to you. So we will never call each other names, because I've heard some people argue, and the names they call themselves, the language they use, I can't stomach the idea of it. So you need to be clear what boundaries exist in our communication. You can't hit me, I can't hit you. You can't call me names, I can't call you names. No matter how upset we are, those are boundaries that should be clearly spelled out in your relationship. Another question to ask your partner or prospective partner is, how long are we doing this dating thing? You know, some people used to think that, or some people believe that this should not be a question. You know, whenever the guy or the girl, in some cases, proposes to you, it should be a surprise to the guy, it should be a surprise to the girl. And I'm like, I don't think that's healthy. Okay, let me give you an instance. When my babe proposed to me, this was February 2022. When he proposed, I was touched and surprised by the level of intentionality that went into the planning. I didn't even know we were wearing matching outfits. I thought I was going out with my friends. I thought he went somewhere. So I did not envisage that it would have been that colorful. Some of my closest friends were there. My cousin that was with me in the house, so when I was dressing up to go out, was there. So it was surprising, it was beautiful, and those were the things that surprised me. Not that the man I had been dating for 2 years wants to get married to me. Like, why were we dating? Why am I surprised? I've seen some videos where some people want to faint. I say, you want to faint? I don't know. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the problem. I don't know. Please let me know what you think in the comments. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe it's just me, because I don't know why you're surprised that the person that you love and you've been building a relationship with intentionally, especially when you guys are not casually dating. I don't know why you're surprised that the person is proposing or talking about marriage. I don't think it's a sacred conversation that you guys can't have. It's a sacred conversation with a platonic friend. You guys can't just be talking about getting married. Why? But with someone you're dating, it's a no-brainer. So yeah, you need to know. Okay? Auntie, how long are you planning to date me? Are you planning to turn our relationship to PhD? Or what's going on here? Okay? You need to make it clear, because the longer you guys date, the harder it is to stick to boundaries that you're probably setting in your relationship. So you need to ask. Then when it comes to towards the time that you want to get married, there's some questions you should also ask, like how many kids do you want to have, when, and what's the space? Because it will be funny when you date somebody that does not want kids at all, and you want like 5. It's going to be very dicey, because either way, a compromise will be difficult. For someone that wants 5 and someone that doesn't want kids at all, I don't think it's a conversation to have before you start dating, because some people are die hard on their decisions that this is a deal breaker for me. If you don't want kids, keep it moving. If you want kids, keep it moving. So you need to have those conversations early on in your relationship, so you're sure that you're on the same page. And speaking of babies, it's also a valid conversation to have, especially before you get married. So if you're thinking of waiting a bit before having kids, you need to discuss things like, what kind of birth control are we using? Are we using contraceptives? Are you going on vibes? If you're going on vibes, the Lord be your shepherd. But you need to have those kind of conversations, because they are important. There are some contraceptives that can drastically alter your body as a woman. It can lead to so many complications. So you need to have those discussions, especially towards when you're getting married, so that you will not have too many, spicy, tense conversations too early on. But yes, it's important to have conversations like that. Then towards the wedding, I would advise that you don't assume what your partner wants. Don't assume that your partner, because they're popular, they want a flashy wedding. Don't assume that. Don't assume that because your partner is quiet, they want a low-key wedding. Try to ask. Especially about the wedding, not even proposal. Ask, what do you want? What would be your dream wedding? Then as you ask, you have to be investigating. Can we afford it? Can we not afford it? Yeah. And then you also need to kind of find out from your partner, what vibe do you think your parents will give me? Do you think they will accept me? If your parents do not accept me, what are we going to do? Those are very valid conversations to have, because these things happen. There are times where you've gone so far in your relationship, you bring your partner home and your parents don't want the partner. Maybe they're from a different tribe, or they look a certain way and your parents are finicky about that. So you need to have those kind of conversations very early on, so that if there is a stumbling block ahead, you guys are planning towards overcoming that stumbling block. So it's very important. I'll just give you a bonus tip. If you're at the stage where you're about to get married, you're planning a wedding, this is something I give as free advice to all my friends that are about to get married or just got married. I just tell them, see, as much as you can, pay for your honeymoon first before you start buying all this shoe. There's some things that I will even advise. If you have one in your house, just wear it. Wedding shoe. I think I only wore my wedding shoe once and I gave it out. The 3 shoes I wore for the different weddings, I've given them out a long time ago. I only wore them once or twice and I gave them out. And most of them did not even show from my clothes. So imagine I went to spend a fortune on the shoes. They were beautiful shoes, but the 3 of them joined together, I don't think I spent 40k on them. Because IG vendors wanted to choke me when I was buying wedding shoe. But I entered Oshodi. I bought 3 shoes. I had change. Shikina. So yeah, I didn't spend too much money on that. But the Kesenas, I don't know if you know Pastor Joshua Kesena and Lady Ope Kesena. I still follow their channel, but when I was dating, I heard them say that they advise couples to get their honeymoon first, and it just stuck in my head. And when we were planning for our wedding, we prioritized our honeymoon. I just have to give kudos to my husband because I think my husband planned my wedding more than me. Me, I was just the chill bride. If they say, is this one done? I say, let me ask my husband. I don't have stress. He had like a whole Excel sheet, nice stuff. But what I'm saying in essence is, as much as you can, prioritize your honeymoon. All those people you want to feed at your wedding of 1,000 people, they will still complain. There are still people inside that 1,000 people that will complain that, that wedding I went, they had small chops, they had grilled catfish. This one is only jollof rice they have. There are some people that will still complain that the rice was not spicy. There are some people that will, you can't satisfy everybody. So I want you to focus your resources on the point of your wedding. The point of your wedding is to proclaim to the world that you are spending the rest of your life with this person that you love. And if you're not investing into that rest of your life, it's going to be somehow. There are memories I have in my marriage that I tie strongly to my honeymoon. If we didn't have our honeymoon, I'm not sure how those memories would have come to play in our lives. So I'll strongly advise you, if you're planning a wedding or you're looking to plan a wedding soon, prioritize your honeymoon. That's the end of this episode. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section and I will get to it as soon as I can. Till then, thank you for getting to this point. See you at my next episode. Bye.